Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5 best mini gaming PCs. Starting at number 5. HP Omen. Hewlett-Packard has been around since before the Second World War, and that historical expertise is evident in the design and construction of its Omen 25L and 30L desktop PCs. The Omen 25L is highly customizable, starting with an RTX 2060 and Core i5-10400F and going up to a Core i9 and RTX 2080 Super. Perhaps the most impressive part of the Omen 25L is the price tag. Despite the presence of an RTX card and that rock-solid CPU, as well as 16GB of RAM, a 256GB SSD, and 2TB HDD, it comes in at just £999. This is primarily due to HP trimming off all the non-essential frills that tend to pad out the price of several similarly spec'd machines. You can find similar specs from plenty of retailers, but it comes in a much smaller frame. While on the one hand, there's less space to muck around in the case if you do decide to upgrade in the future, it can slip easily into much tighter spaces than a more significant case and is easier to transport. It's the epitome of function over form and is available at a great price. Coming at number 4. Corsair One. One of our highest rated pre-built gaming PCs is back in an updated model, the Corsair One i164. It's still the same small form factor PC, but with a revamped internal layout and a few other slight changes. The case design still looks like something straight out of Tron. The CPU and GPU both use independent liquid cooling solutions, and all the hot air is pumped out by a single 140 maglev fan. The PSU now sits below the motherboard, and some of the USB ports have been repositioned on the front of the case, but that's the extent of the non-component changes. Yes, you read that right, the mid-range model. The lower model comes with a Core i7-9700K and an RTX 2080, while the Corsair One Pro workstation model comes with a Core i9-9920X and an RTX 2080 Ti. There's still no word on NVIDIA RTX 30 series cards yet, although we would expect that to be corrected before long. Likely, Corsair will also have to invest in more PSU capacity for the change too. The price varies based on the specs, of course. So if £3,600 for the i164 is a little too rich for your blood, the i145 is £1,200 less at £2,400. Which is £100 less than the A100 with a 3900X CPU. If you are in the market for a compact workstation, the i200 will zap for £1,700 from your bank account. All models come with 32GB of RAM, so you won't need to worry about upgrading that aspect of the one for years to come. At number 3. CyberPower PC Infinity X109 Gaming PC. When you buy a new PC, you're essentially looking for a powerful system that offers decent value for money from a reliable company. You want it to look good as well. Quiet running wouldn't hurt. Throw in a graphics card that you can't buy for love or money, and you have the CyberPower Infinity X109 Gaming PC. A machine that has more lights than your average Christmas tree, more fans than the dome at the end of the Crystal Maze, okay. There are 5 case fans, packs the latest hardware, and yet is incredibly quiet in use. 9 GHz most of the time. You also get a GeForce RTX 3070, which is a solid mid to high-end card. It'll handle 1080p and 1440p gaming brilliantly. We saw 128 frames per second in Division 2, 139 frames per second in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and 110 frames per second at 1080p. All silky smooth. 4K can be a bit of a stretch, but not outside the realms of possibility as well. The rest of the spec is pretty much what you'd hope for at this price point, although the SSD is a little on the small side for my tastes. 500GB is fine, but I'd recommend upgrading to a 1TB model at order time for a bit of extra, to give you more space for your most played games. You do get a 2TB hard drive as standard too, so it's not like you're going to run out of space anytime soon. Number 2 of my list. Alienware Aurora R13. Look, an Alienware Aurora with a side window. What a world! The new Aurora R13 uses the release of Intel's Alder Lake processors to deliver a slight redesign of its extraterrestrial chassis and offers a host of configurations, from the Core i5-12400F through the i5-12600KF and i7-12700KF, all the way up to the Core i9-12900KF. They're paired with NVIDIA GPUs from the GTX 1650 Super up to the unfeasibly expensive RTX 3090, or AMD Radeon cards from the RX 6600 XT up to the RX 6900 XT. That gives you a range of Alienware gaming machines from reasonably affordable 1080p gaming right up to blistering 4K workload-smashing performance, and the Alienware AIO cooling system will help keep the cozy interior of the case at a reasonable temperature too. I'll give it a break while DDR5 is expensive and hard to find, but it still stings and I'm not impressed. The unconventional design of the case exploits every inch of its limited space, but initially feels a bit awkward to tinker with. However, access to nearly every part of the PC without tools is a definite plus and expedites upgrades and maintenance. There's an obvious priority on providing a convenient, premium product with some potential for upgrades, and the Aurora design accomplishes that goal. And number 1. Alienware Aurora Ryzen Edition. The Aurora Ryzen Edition takes over the top spot from the Intel builds. The AMD Ryzen processors of the new generation are exemplary in terms of both performance and price. And with the potential for a 16-core, 32-thread chip inside your Alienware gaming PC, alongside an NVIDIA RTX 3090, you're looking at something rather special. But the lower end has something to offer too. The different configurations on offer mean that for £1,249 you can get a 6-core machine, with a GTX 1650 Super inside it that will handle 1080p gaming in that sleek Alienware chassis. Some options provide better value for the parts used, but for hassle-free PC gaming out of the box, it's tough to beat the ease of use that Alienware provides. The unconventional design of the case exploits every inch of its limited space, but does initially feel a bit awkward to tinker with. However, the ability to access nearly every part of the PC without tools is a definite plus and expedites upgrades and maintenance. There's an obvious priority here on providing a convenient, premium product with some potential for upgrades, and the Aurora Ryzen Edition accomplishes that goal. Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.